All right, guys. Today we have some big news to talk about. A player that Western fans know and are quite familiar with, and he's pretty popular with. This is Berserker, where he is headed for 2025. This is obviously a very, very big story because once we found out that Berserker was going to be leaving Cloud9, obviously with Sven returning Cloud9 to be that new AD carry, where Berserker was going to go next was going to be very intriguing. He was going to be a very, very hot commodity on the market, and we had heard a lot of Western fans hoping and praying that Berserker was going to come to their team. I know there was plenty of NA teams that were hoping that they would be in the running for Berserker. Obviously, since he's been in NA for the past couple of years, maybe he likes it there. Maybe he wants to stick around. Maybe he's not ready to go back home to Korea. I know there were some European teams that were maybe even hoping for Berserker. Teams like Fnatic. I know a lot of Fnatic fans were like, oh, maybe we can get him over here since he's familiar with the West and he wants to level up to Europe or whatever. And then obviously Korean fans, were ready for Berserker to return home, and that's what it always seemed like. Berserker's going to start out in the LCS. He's going to return to the LCK, try to rise to the top, try and be a world champion, all that good stuff. And he did accomplish a lot with Cloud9. Obviously, he had a couple of good years. At his best, he has the potential to be the absolute best player in the LCS. He was an S+ tier prospect coming out of Korea. This guy has all the talent in the world. He can do all those amazing things. So the fact that he is now returning to Korea to play with the Kwangdong Freaks, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend anybody. We've learned on this channel that pronunciations are not my thing. Him returning to Korea, I don't think should be that surprising. Obviously, I would have loved to keep him in North America. At the very least, I would have loved to have him in Europe. Berserker, at the end of the day, is just too talented of a player. And yeah, him and Cloud9 obviously weren't able to accomplish, I'm sure, all that he wanted, but he came here. He got to grow. He got to live his youth in Los Angeles, making money, winning championships, going to Worlds, doing a lot of cool things. But obviously, ultimately, him and Cloud9 came up short this past year. And if a player as talented as Berserker is not going to Worlds, even in a region like NA, then what the heck is he doing here? There's really no reason for him to be here. He did what he came to do. Him and Cloud9 did some special things together. They did some cool things. He was able to grow, develop, mature, and now he's going to find out, if he's going to be good enough to move up the way through the LCK. Obviously, everyone knows he has the potential and the talent to do it, but is he actually going to do it? Is he actually going to get those opportunities? And will Berserker one day become like a world champion or an LCK champion or an MSI champion or whatever? Obviously, I know a lot of people in the West are rooting for him, but yes, he is not going to be staying in NA. He is not going to be staying in even the West and Europe or whatever. He is returning back home to Korea. He's going to be moving into a full-time starting position in the LCK again with Kwangdong Freaks. This is obviously very, very cool. This past season, that's not who I meant to pull up. I thought I had Berserker somewhere. Oh, yeah, okay, here's a Berserker one. We have Berserker as the second best AD carry in the LCS, which obviously, again, we know his talent, his potential, everything. He can be the best AD carry in the LCS, but his stats from last year weren't all that crazy. His KDA was very, very insane, but CS per minute, not that crazy, and then his damage per gold was also not that crazy. He did very good in terms of like not dying, but didn't have a ton of kill participation, didn't have a very good damage per minute. So kind of a weird year for Berserker and kind of a weird year for Cloud9 overall, obviously. But yes, this is what Berserker is going to be doing next year. And we also know some of his teammates as well. If we back up here, and that's why I had Piosik pulled up, because Kwangdong Freaks have announced the signing of Piosik as their new jungler, and it doesn't stop there. They also signed Life as their new support. So Kwangdong Freaks making a lot of new changes, and this roster is actually pretty interesting. Again, Piosik, another player that NA fans, Western fans are going to be really, really familiar with, and then Life is a guy who's been around for a while, a pretty big name as well. So if we take a look, we have Piosik, who was in the LCK last year with KT Rolster for 2024. Our Sheep Esports rating had him ranked as the number 6 jungler in Korea. So obviously you have a guy who spent the last couple of years in NA and Berserker. You have a guy who's kind of a middle of the pack jungler in the LCK last year in Piosik. And then we have Life as well, who was previously playing last year with Fun Plus Phoenix, we had him ranked as the number 7 support in the LPL. So while these are a ton of really, really talented players who at their best can be very, very strong, it's also kind of a mix of those middle-of-the-road players, which obviously we know that Freaks was a pretty middle-of-the-pack team last year. In the summer, they finished with 21 wins and 23 losses. So yeah, they're trying to make some moves, trying to do some things. And then for all these players, guys like Berserker, Piosik, Life, they're obviously trying to move their way up onto those better and better teams in the LCK. But this is Berserker's first opportunity where he's going to get a chance to prove himself. And obviously, if he just pops off, if he goes crazy, if him him and Freaks are able to outperform expectations, that's when you could maybe see Berserker vying for a spot in one of those more top tier teams in the LCK, which could be very, very exciting. Or, maybe this thing comes together, it works out, and they're able to do something really, really special on Freaks. We'll have to wait and see. We did have a little bit more news for Freaks as well. They have confirmed the appointment of head coach Rapid Star and coach Punch also to their team. So we got a ton of these really, really cool, assets coming out from Horizon Esports and stuff like that about a ton of announcements in the Korea and the LCK. And I know sometimes people are asking, are you going to cover Korean news or Chinese news or whatever? And hey, we'll cover whatever you guys are interested in if you guys want to see it. Obviously, I don't think Chibi Sports has as many sources and stuff in Korea and China and all that stuff, but when we are able to obviously create some of this discussion and have these conversations with you guys, and especially try and bring this news and spread this news to an English-speaking audience, I think that is very, very cool. But yes, we do have Berserker leaving the West, leaving NA, headed back to Korea. We'll have to see what him and the Freaks are able to do, this new look Freaks lineup is able to do in 2025. I think it's a pretty interesting lineup. I think it's a lineup that could be pretty decent, could maybe be pretty bad if things don't go so well. I know people have a ton of questions about Berserker. Obviously he's kind of grown up as a player in NA. Is that going to hurt him? Is he still going to be able to come back to Korea and be as strong as he needs to be? Is he going to fit back in that lifestyle and that grind set mentality and all that stuff? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be very, very interesting. But obviously, at the end of the day, I wish Berserker the best of luck. I wish we could have kept him longer. Hopefully, you guys appreciated him while he was here. Hopefully, we get some more exciting Korean prospects sooner rather than later. And maybe Berserker will return home to North America one day as well. I hope this is not the last we see of him, but we'll have to wait and see. Also, just want to mention that we do have the Holy by Sheep Esports giveaway going on right now. We're offering 1 year of Holy Drink to anyone who orders with the codes SE5 or SE10. SE5 is going to get you €5 off your first purchase, and SE10 is going to get you 10% off your entire basket. To participate in this giveaway, one lucky person is going to win this again. All you have to do is place an order with one of those codes before December 6th of 2024, so you still have plenty of time. Go buy some Holy today. Great tasting energy drinks that are also healthier than the competition. Hopefully, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.